have mercy on his soul. God have mercy on his soul, Yusuf said. Your Ba must be a bad businessman. He isn't, Yusuf cried, knowing nothing about it but not prepared to put up with such liberties.
It's a pleasure to have you at this festival.
The pleasure is all mine.
Yeah. And I remember we met last year in Berlin in the framework of this translation festival, and the question of translation into African languages or from African languages was central.
Yes.
That's why I thought you should be here this year, and I'm glad that you could accommodate
your
schedule. Now, could you share with us, would you tell us a few things about your experience translating Abdul Razak Gurna's Paradise into Kiswahili?
So I wanted to translate Abdul Razak Gurna into Swahili because I thought the voice within the book itself is Swahili. The setting of the book is the East African coast, Mwambao as we call it. And it is a voice that is missing within East African literature, especially international literature. Of course, we have Ngugi and other authors, but the cost wasn't there. So I wanted to translate this work. My experience has been absolutely amazing because Abdul Razak gave me the independence to do what I wanted with the translation. He never interfered. He never wanted to read any manuscript or to check this word is there, why is it not this equivalence? So I had complete independence to read the work and translate it into my understanding of what he was trying to say. So I would say it was a very positive experience. And I think the end result has been phenomenal in that it's now been taken as part of the school syllabus in Tanzania, secondary school and university. The government has now distributed it into public libraries as well. So I think the reception has been really great. So the translating and the reception have given me something amazing.
You come from Tanzania. What does it mean to you as somebody from Tanzania, from Zanzibar especially, to translate this work, to take it back home, if I may put it that way?
Yeah. Do you know, we see now a lot of translators most of them tend to be journalists, for example, translating into Shona, into Somali, and now into Swahili, etc. And I think what it means is that they are bringing back the authentic work of the authors. The authors, whether they're in exile, whether they're still in the country, are writing in a language that is not accessible to everybody in that area. Right? When I think of Tanzania, Swahili is spoken by almost everybody. It is the national language. It is almost everybody's first language. But English is not. English is a foreign language for most, a second language for some, a first language for a very few. And so having a work about the area, about the people, their history in their own language, is something phenomenal, it's something very different. They're able to see their history, to see themselves, not just in the story, but also in the language that this work comes to them. And I think that is something which has been amazing to bring across.
Why Paradise, and at what time did you, wanted to translate?
So I'll tell you something personal. In 2021, I got very, very sick. I had COVID. I was very unwell. I was in a coma for 2 weeks. And I was not able, when I woke up, I was not able to eat, to talk, nothing. I was dead. And I had, once you're in a coma, you have hallucinations, you change. So then I was given 6 months off work to recuperate. And something which happened was that I was forgetting a lot. My memory loss was extensive. And so I had somebody called an occupational therapist who said, you must try and read, work with words, work with memory, read a dictionary. So I was like, read a dictionary, that's so boring. But I like translation. So I thought maybe I would translate. Then she said, yes, translate something that you like. And for me, automatically, it was Abdul Razak Gurna. Because before that, I never had the time to sit and translate, I was at home for 6 months. And so in March 2001, I began translating Paradise. It helped me look up words, think of the book. I really immersed myself completely in the book. It was like being in a different world where I was also able to heal. So I think translation was also like a healing process for me. I began in March, and then he won in October. I was almost 3/4 of the way done, because that's all I did. I didn't do anything else. I'm now doing Afterlives. It's harder because I'm also working, and so I'm juggling a lot. So the reason, as I said, was very personal in that it was COVID. And why Paradise? Again, I think it's because it's my history as an East African. It's the reality that what I learned in school was, I think, painted with a brush that was very nationalistic, where you have this person is good, that person is bad. You know what I mean? Whereas what Abdulrazak does is he shows that there were different layers of people. There were different people. There were good and bad in all the peoples, you know? It's not that the Arab came and, I don't know, like, enslaved people. It's just that he was also enabled by our own people. We had chiefs who were selling off their cousins. You know, that's the reality that we see there. So I think he shows a history that maybe we struggle to accept, but that maybe we need to try and understand. And that's why I really wanted to have this book.